Hello. I guess we can maybe just get started with the library director's report.
I am ready.
Alright.
Alright.
Let's do this.
Director's report from March 2024. We had 0 curbside pickups, 344 patrons. For students, we had 10 classes with 15 visits for a total of 369 students. Storytime attendees, we had 48 adults, 68 children, for a total attendees of 116, and we had 5 Storytime events in March. For Dungeons and Dragons, there were 2 events with 15 attendees. Volunteers, we had 2 with 4 visits and a total of 6.75 hours for the month. Not Just Knitting had 2 events with 8 attendees. Senior Book Club had 1 event for 5 attendees. Boy Scouts had 3 visits with 18 attendees. The Brick Painting Night was 1 and it had 9 attendees. We issued 10 new cards, which included 1 e-card. For Facebook page reach in March, it was 2,491. Facebook total page likes in March was 903. Page followers in March was 1,048. Facebook page visits was 475. For Instagram page reach in March, it was 42, with 197 followers, and profile visits we had for 15 on Instagram. Most popular Facebook posts was Unless Someone Like You, which is the Getting the Trees in the Lorax and Earth Day, thanks to Trisha, 2,220. And the second one was Leave It to Paige to Capture the Leprechaun at 1,624. We only had 37 Wi-Fi connections, but we had 531 website visits. For library numbers, Hubbardston items circulated regardless of location, 1,687. All items circulated at Hubbardston regardless of ownership, 1,414. We had 146 requested holds. We have 1,435 patrons registered at Hubbardston. Total number of items in the system as of now for March was 11,348. For Overdrive, monthly checkouts for Hubbardston residents was 731. Holds on Overdrive, we had 157 e-audio, 234 e-books, for a total of 391 holds. The Senior Book Club met on Wednesday, March 26th, and discussed The Splendid and the Vile by Eric Larson. The next book club meeting will be held on April 30th at 11 a.m. at the Senior Center in the Slate Building at 7 Main Street, where they will discuss The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell by Robert Dugoni. The March display in the Adult and Children's Room celebrated Women's History Month. The April displays for both the Adult Reading Room and the Children's Reading Room will celebrate spring and gardening, while the Children's Room will also have an Easter display. The mailbox is installed at the annex entrance. Tricia told us that we are in the queue at National Grid for the pole installation, so we are getting closer.
That's good.
I attended the following meetings/webinars in the last month. The CW Mars User Council meeting, Law and Immigration Enforcement in Libraries, Grant Writing 101 with Tricia in person, CW Mars Library Director Security Training meeting, Town Department meeting, Baker and Taylor Connect training, ALA Town Hall, and Library Staff meeting. At the staff meeting, we discussed changing the codes to the basement entrance. We may have to purchase a new keypad if we can't locate the instruction manual for the current keypad. We also discussed panic buttons for the staff and the need for handicap access buttons for the basement. We also discussed the need for a second checkout desk downstairs and an additional phone. Ann and Tricia coordinated an online calendar for us to know who is doing what and when we are working and when programs are occurring. This will help us, and I don't know why it said be limited to the staff. Oh, this will help the staff, but it will only be limited to the staff. It won't be open to the public. Tricia also let us know that we need to query our volunteers every 3 years, and she's going to talk about programming, so respectfully submitted by Chris Barbera. And the financials are as of 2/28/25. And then there's the page on all of our web activity.
Any questions about the director's report?
Great job, Chris.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great, as always.
Yep.
do you wanna do the programming?
Yeah, Tricia, do you wanna give an update on the programming
Yep,
now?
so Chris already went over the program updates for March, for the most part, Storytime Attendance, Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's coming up this month and, those crazy ideas that I always seem to come up with. So coming this month, well, currently right now, the Dungeons and Dragons program is having a book challenge. I selected a bunch of books off of, that are themed to either books they've already fallen into. I've noticed while running this program that, they would come across King Arthur and they have no idea who King Arthur is, never read King Arthur, have no idea. So what I created is a book challenge that I created a list of books that they choose from. They chose the book. They are going to read the book. They are going to take a picture of them reading the book and write me a small blurb of what happens. I have a boss that uses AI all day, every day. I can tell if AI wrote it. And I told them that. I will be able to tell if AI wrote your blurb. So try.
So these are books related to the game.
So related to the game. So
Okay.
like an example is C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or The Hobbit. These are books that the original game creator read as a child, and that was his inspiration for creating the world of Dungeons and Dragons. So it not only that, but it's books that they could easily turn into a campaign. So like Catching Fire, or what other books did I have on there? Inkheart, things that are definitely themed around Dungeons and Dragons, or books that they may fall into part of the campaign coming up. So once they read the book, give me that blurb and it's A-okay, there are prizes. Dice Tower is a dice bag that looks like a 20-sided dice. Mini dice, they're obsessed with mini dice for some reason, I don't know why. So all these beautiful canvas prints of all the monsters from Dungeons and Dragons, and the coveted book dragon blanket, which will be interesting to see who gets that first. So that's going on right now.
Could I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
One thing, I did just an idea of something that you could do, instead of having them write a blurb, they could do like a 1-minute critic, where they video themselves giving a 1-minute review of the book,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could like put it on, if they wanted to, you could put it on like a website or something like that.
Yeah.
That also kinda helps with like any concerns about like AI, you know,
Yeah,
because.
so,
they're-
cause, I will be able to tell, but at the same time, they told me that they don't do book reports in school anymore, and I was like, so it's just like an old fashioned, maybe I'm stuck in the 90s book report came to mind, so, but I love that idea, so thank you. So that's going on right now. The 25th of April, the Dungeons and Dragons will be taking a step away from the table, and I will be hosting a movie night where they will be shown the movie. It is PG-13, so I've created a Google form that parents are going to fill out to allow their child basically permission to watch the movie. I will have printed out versions for when they are dropped off. I talked to the movie theater in Gardner, and they have talked to me. Izzy LaBelle, who is one of my Dungeons and Dragons kids, works there. They're donating the popcorn for the movie night.
Oh.
The only issue is licensing. To show a movie in the library, I have to purchase a license. That's why I haven't broadcasted that I'm doing this, because the price for the movie is $240. It's very expensive. So I'm leaving that financial decision up to y'all.
The movie is
What
Dungeons and
movie is this?
Dragons?
Mhm.
Okay.
Den of Thieves. It's Dungeons
Den
and
of
Dragons
Thieves.
Den of Thieves. They just came out with it this past year. It has Chris Pine and a bunch of other known actors. It's hilarious. It's funny. There's a fat dragon in it. So it's a good time.
There are companies that do, an umbrella licensing.
So I went to the company that the town uses for the None Such movie night and all of that. I can shop around and see if someone else will give me a better price.
Probably not if it's a distributor.
Probably not. It's pretty much the price is the price. So that is the other thing. The best part about my Dungeons and Dragons program is I've got kids now DMing. I'm no longer the DM. The kids will ask to DM. Emerson is up next on the 11th.
She's in a play.
On the 11th?
She's Uncle Henry
In a
on
play?
the 11th.
On the
yeah.
11th? I don't think she knew that. So I will. Okay, cool. So The other
She
thing.
was actually telling me that, and I was like, I'm hoping that's not this one.
So Earth Day story time. I've got the final total of trees is 103. We will be doing that on April 22nd at 6 p.m. The trees will be passed out. I have a spreadsheet. I will be organizing all the trees, and I also let parents know if they can't come to that event, the trees will be available to just pick up at the library.
And what day is that again?
April 22nd at 6 p.m. It's on the calendar.
Okay.
And the best news that came today is I talked to Burpee Seeds. They donated a ton of seeds to the library for story time. I will be passing them out because May's theme and April's theme is in the gardening, farming. Two last things, the program for April is a mini canvas paint night. They're 4x4 canvases that they'll be painting. They'll also be available for pickup at the library for everybody in the community and patrons to come, paint a small picture on the 4x4 canvas, and then they will be going up on the wall like a giant quilt, all together. And then two programs
In the children's room?
in the children's room on the artwork wall. Two programs that are in the works right now that I've been working with some people in the community with is a struggling readers program to offset the Saturday story time. Where kids will come and read to therapy animals, or animals that are in training, because animals are the best people to read to. They are an unbiased audience. And I just had the meeting before this, so I can announce it. We are starting a book club through the library. The first kickoff is May 12th. I will be broadcasting it far and wide. And instead of potentially picking a book for the book club, we'll be picking a theme. That way, if we have multiple genre readers, they can pick a book per that theme to read. And that's it.
Oh, so this is open to the public too? Okay, I thought it was just the town people.
Well, it's our patrons, so whoever comes to our library.
I meant the town employees, I thought that's.
No, I would love
Okay.
to start an employee book club, but I think Nate would bop me over the head.
You can just very strongly promote it.
I might, well, we've talked about it actually in town hall.
Good.
A few times.
Goals?
Can I just mention like two things? So you talked about getting the licensing for the film. I do think it's probably worth exploring getting a site license or from Swing or
Right.
whatever, because I think it won't be that much more than the $240.
Right.
And that will enable you to offer movie nights throughout the course of the year.
Right.
So I definitely would explore that as
Okay.
an option. The other thing I just wanted to mention is Fitchburg State University has the papers of R.A. Salvatore, who,
No.
yes. So, there could be something that you could do with Fitchburg State University where either the kids, like, maybe they take a field trip to the archives and like read some of the letters and stuff like that. You know,
That would
I
be
wanna go.
so,
Field trip?
I'm
so I
sorry,
just,
who is this?
R.A. Salvatore, he's kinda created,
Embarrassed.
he created
Well,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
kind
Well,
of-
no, he didn't
or
create
created, but
Dungeons. What he did was, he created a universe, that was based on Dungeons and Dragons, and the universe that he had expanded to multiple authors, oh my goodness gracious, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
So,
So he's a local author, he's from
I was gonna say,
Leominster.
yes, he is local, yeah, so we do have his papers,
Yeah.
at
Oh my
Fitchburg
goodness.
State in the archives, so.
I can't believe my son didn't tell me that.
So there is potentially something, I mean, we can't bring the papers out necessarily, I mean, I
Right.
can talk to Asher and see, but, you know, there might be something we could kind of do to kind of make that tie, so.
I would love that.
So he created Dungeons
Well,
and
no, I guess
Dragons
he did.
scenarios?
So what happens is that somebody created a campaign, and he took that and went running with it and created characters and, you know, worked in that universe, expanded the universe, wrote multiple books, series of books. He had a cleric and a fighter who were phenomenal characters. I really enjoyed reading about them. So yeah, I think it wasn't Dragonlance, that was Hickman and Weiss. I'm trying to remember what the
So
name
he
of
wrote
this-
books related to,
Yes, using
The
D&D
fantasy.
as the springboard for his world.
okay. Thank you.
Yes. I think I would also say some of this stuff might be available in our digital collections too, so you might be able to find
Okay.
So I have to check that to make sure, but there's something there that maybe we can explore, so.
And the site license for the videos, is that just like a subscription?
Yeah, it's, I mean, were you looking at Swank, is that what the town uses?
Yeah, the town uses Swank.
Does the town have a site license that we can piggyback off of?
I broached the subject with her. I said, you know, when I apply for this, it will be through the town, and that's how I set up the account. It's the town of Hubbardston. And she let me know that every locale in Hubbardston that is potentially gonna show movies has to have their own account. And I said, I scratched my nose at her, so.
So, where does the town have a licensed, usable license now?
Rec field.
I'm sorry,
The rec field.
just move the kids over there, would that be easy?
It would be
Except
Cold,
mid-April.
mid-April. It might be a little wet, a little chilly, and a little squishy.
Bundle them up.
Bundle them up. Throw them under the pavilion.
It may work to the benefit, like, in the future, even like October when we do it though, of having it planned, but rain location being
The
the
library
same
being
day, but
alternative.
we reciprocally offer.
Right. So
And I don't know if
what
there's
I
a way on that.
basically am going to do is I'm going to go into my account and see if I can just the town of Hubbardston get one big site license.
Well, Swank doesn't have Den of Thieves, so. They have Den of Thieves, but it's a rated R movie, it's not the D&D,
D&D.
yeah.
So maybe you could have, like, maybe there's a license with multiple locations or something, I don't know if that's an option.
So she told me that that was one was available.
Well, she
I
probably
don't know if
looked
it
in
would
and
be
said
in
Den of
Canopy.
Thieves, but that's the Den of Thieves that's shown.
Yeah, I don't think you can show it.
Canopy usually can, I'm looking to see, so you got Canopy, and then, or you have
You
Swank,
try that one,
and then
maybe they put
there's
it under Dungeons and
MMA, I
Dragons.
think.
Oh, but there was an old Dungeons, right, so we can
Yeah.
go, we can do this.
There's also Motion Picture Licensing Corporation, I think that can let you look at site licenses as well, or public performance rights. So what it is, so just, you have to get a license in order to publicly show a film, just due to copyright reasons, right? Cause most times, like when you rent like a DVD or you watch something on Amazon, it's for personal use only, and it's not meant to be broadly distributed. So things, organizations like Swank and MPLC will give you a subscription where you can publicly show movies, so you're not in violation of copyright law, so. That's kind of the gist of why we have to do this, so,
Is Hubbardston even a member of Canopy?
no.
Cause I think I looked into that once.
No, you can access Canopy as a Boston Public Library patron. You can get an e-card, and that will give you access to Canopy. But the cost, these things cost money. Hoopla, I have to pay per use, so
Hoopla, that was
I
the one I
don't,
was thinking.
I don't do Hoopla because it's free to you guys, but it really just clears out my budget. Canopy has the same thing, that the amount that they want, it isn't worth it for me to put that money in for 3 people to watch, 8 movies throughout the year,
Right.
so.
Okay. Yeah, cause I know I thought I had checked into it before and found we were not a member, that's what, which is fine.
But I can show you how to get an e-card at BPL,
Okay.
cause you are a state, you're a state resident,
I
it's
didn't
a
think I
state
did that
library,
with it.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I signed up when I was there. My husband took me there for our anniversary.
Oh,
He
great.
took me to the Boston Public Library,
That's nice.
and I had a drink in the Boston Public Library.
Ah.
They have a speakeasy in the old map room. It's kind of fun. Can we have a speakeasy?
I'm
No.
sorry, so
Dang
this
it.
book club, is that for anybody?
Mhm.
Like, not just, like, we have the seniors, but now this is like an adult book
Mhm.
club.
An adult
No,
book
yeah,
club.
it's
A
a
but-
book club for adults, I
Book
think
club for
sounds
adults.
better.
If we do adult
Exactly.
book club, well, that's just a
Might get more
like,
people.
yeah.
Might get more people.
What's the first theme? No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So those are all my crazy programming ideas. More to come.
No, they don't seem to have it either.
I like the idea of being able to show,
Movies
you
in the
know,
library.
films when we have more space, you know, it does
Yeah,
seem like a
for
good
sure.
idea.
We're gonna turn the children's room, gonna move all the furniture out of the way. I'm gonna tell them bring
But I
pillows,
mean, like,
blankets.
in the future,
Yeah.
if we have the downstairs,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
that's a much bigger space.
Yep.
I think it opens up to a greater variety of programming too.
Yeah.
Especially if we showed independent short films, like people who in town who make videos.
Mhm.
Bridget, who's probably broadcasting, is one of them, so.
I would love personally to feature, beyond even Hubbardston, but local New England artists of a variety of nature. I think that would be awesome.
Oh, last program, I'm so sorry, I forgot about him. Storybook Trail, it's spring. So I'm in talks with Open Space, cause Malone Road is obviously under construction. They're making it ADA accessible, so we're picking another trail here in Hubbardston, that is a little bit more family friendly and easy to walk with the small ones. So that I will keep you guys updated on what trailhead it ends up on.
Great. Thank you. Meeting minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the March 6th, 2025 meeting minutes?
Still looking.
I did.
I
I didn't
emailed you
have
to
any
4
notes
organizations that
on
have
either the
performance rates.
6th or
Okay.
the 18th.
Perfect, thank you.
But I'm open to any discussion because it's been a while. 2 days. It's been a while.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of what you said, cause I was.
I read both the 6th and the 18th, and I jokingly said it's been a while. It's been like
Okay.
2 days.
Alright.
But I didn't have any, usually I'll make a note if I saw anything, but without discussion, I would make a motion to approve the minutes from March 6th.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the March 6th minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0. How about March 18th, which was the policies meeting?
Succinct and
Yep.
Yeah.
Motion to approve?
I'll make an emotion.
Morgan, second?
Second.
Chris, seconded, all in favor? 5, 0, 0. Okay, great. Clicking along. Uh-oh,
The Friends of the Library.
it is, yeah, I discovered my agenda, I clicked out the wrong thing. Friends of the Library, so, a few weeks ago, Alicia and Chris and I met with Whitney, last names are escaping me, Donna.
Freiberg.
Freiberg, Donna, DeVoe, and
Tebow.
Tebow, and Tebow,
Yeah, and
Zeph.
Zephyr.
and Zeph.
I don't remember her last name.
Great.
Carpenter.
Thank you.
To talk about kind of next steps for the library. They are very enthusiastic, they are on board with trying to get this off the ground, they wanted to spend some time kind of evaluating which path is most appropriate for them to go down, just talking about concerns of you establish a 501c3 and like, and then the friend fizzles out, like what happens and so forth, so, I believe they met with, give me 1 second here, they met with Asta at the senior center, who I think was involved in getting the Friends of the Senior Center established. Whitney was gonna try to be here tonight, but some situations came up where she was not able to attend, so we don't have a further update on that. But I do believe that some progress is being made. And Alicia, I don't know if you have more, or Chris, if you have more to add.
The only thing I could say is that I sent her an email, she'd asked about a template for forming the group and so on. So I just sent her an email to say the papers that I had left in that folder, that's
Mhm.
what it is.
Okay.
So I don't know if anybody looked at them or, if they've got that far.
Yeah, I believe they went through, the old binder we had of the Friends of the Library, just to kinda get some
Mhm.
history of kind of what was happening.
Mhm.
So I think there's work happening on that front. Hopefully next month, we'll be in a spot where we might have a little bit more of an update on where they're at in the process, so.
And I could just add that we did not get the grant to pay for the lawyer,
Yeah.
so we could-
Aside that we may wanna invite, or some may want to attend, is next Tuesday, April 8th. The Berry Library, it's called the Berry Library Association, which is their friends group, are meeting at 6:30, and they said they are welcoming anybody from the public. So should anybody want to make connections and meet with them, their meeting is next Tuesday, April 8th at 6:30.
Can you send that in an email, just so we can forward it along to?
Sure.
split meeting, just 'cause I will,
I hear you.
yes.
I can't remember if I mentioned this at the previous meeting, but I was talking to I think she's a children's librarian at the Westminster Library, and they have a group, a friends group, but they don't wanna set up as a nonprofit. But that's limiting what they can do.
Mhm.
So, it's just kind of interesting, like they have people that wanna do, you know, they wanna help, but they wanna, I think they're focused on a book sale, which is, you know, one thing, but, it's just kinda interesting, like we're not the only people that are trying to
Right.
struggle and
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
how to do it.
And I think
they
Barry
say why.
just reestablished their group too. I think it's very new. I believe.
In the Westminster?
No, the
Oh,
Barry.
Barry, okay.
No, I think,
They're trying to rejuvenate the,
Yes.
yeah. I think that's what's happening there, but it's like they don't necessarily wanna do all the formality
yeah.
things.
The friends group in Hadley, Mass, I reached, more like they tackled me when I went into the library the other day with my mom. And so I asked them some questions and she was just like, just shoot me an email. So I'm just waiting for her email back cause she was the one who set it all up and got it all started again, cause they had to do it with the brand new library being built. They needed a friends group to help manage projects and stuff like that, just cause the library grew 3 times its original size. So, I'll put out feelers and maybe she said that she'd be more than happy to make the drive around the Quabbin, she says, to come talk to us if need be.
2025 scholarship, Morgan, you're up.
It's up and running and due at the end of the month and then we'll get to review, so.
Do you have
Spread
any
the word.
submissions yet?
I don't typically check until the end of the month.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a surprise, Brett, I have to know.
Yeah, no.
Like, and if any come in the mail and things like that, yeah, no.
So, alright, so that's underway, so.
Just one quick
Yep.
question, did you get it to Ellie Downer for the Barry Gazette, or
No,
do you want me to do that for you?
that would be lovely.
Action item.
And are we able to get it on the town listserv? I don't think I saw that. I saw the country hen come out.
Yes, because the
I
town
didn't see.
website is currently under construction and has given me, I was doing it today and I was like, why are you fighting me? Every time I tried to put something on the town website, it's like, page not found, and I was like, no, you are found, you need to stop fighting me. So, Monday morning, I will get it up there because it will hopefully stop doing whatever it was doing today. We couldn't even post agendas today because it was being a brat.
Is that the website and the sign
So it
thing?
sends, I can do
Or
the
the email, it
electronic
emails,
sign, it does
okay.
I can do both, would you like me to put it up on the electronic sign as well?
I would like it on both.
On both it is,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Alright, so a couple weeks ago, we got an email from a town patron, asking us if we've given any thought to sponsoring a warrant article at the annual town meeting to remove the library from the list of buildings where people can bring their guns. The time for submitting a warrant has passed,
Mm.
but we probably do need to respond to the citizen, to just kind of discuss, you know, to provide a response to them. So I'm happy to draft something, but I would be interested in how you would like to phrase the response.
Part of it should be addressing the timing, and I could be wrong, but my understanding with regards to the warrants is that they would have to be brought up or proposed by individual citizens, not by our trustees as a group. Am I wrong?
I was trying to find the answer to that, and when I was looking at stuff
do
from
you
town
know?
meeting, do you know the answer?
It can be both,
Okay.
you know, because if you think about it as CPC, which is a town group, can put forth articles for the town meeting warrant. People have done warrant articles, citizens, in the past. Usually they approach the town administrator first and then the warrant article. Cause it's not normal that a citizen can draft the herein to subject to that language for the warrant article. so I guess it has been both in the past, but usually it is a town entity that puts forth a warrant article, so it would be up to mostly you guys, but the townsperson, as a resident could potentially put up a warrant article.
I think I read that they have to get like 10 signatures in
Yes,
order to do it.
correct.
So they have to go through a process of getting signatures.
But we would not need to do that?
You would need to submit it through the form that Nate had put
Oh,
out there.
uh-huh.
Like Travis put his brush mower on there and the fire truck's on there, stuff like that.
But if the deadline has passed.
The deadline has passed.
So we're not doing it for this town meeting.
For this,
You know, it could be something we could consider for
Special town meeting in the fall.
special town meeting or maybe the next annual town meeting.
There will be a special town meeting in the fall.
Yeah,
There
my
always
concern
is.
with that is
There
that,
always is.
yeah, it's attendance of that one, and so, and it was just what was the challenge we had at the last one.
Mhm.
You know, when we tried to make an amendment, is that there wasn't enough attendance, you know, to pass it, whereas a town meeting, annual town meeting might have more people there.
What if if we just say we can discuss this at a meeting next year at the appropriate, I don't know what it would be, like March or February or something like that, you know, and then maybe invite, cause we had a lot of discussion about this leading up to it, so,
Yeah.
you know, we could kind of review what we thought. I think enforcement was one of the concerns we had.
articles were due, we just missed it, it was
Okay.
April 1st.
Oh,
So
okay.
we should have it written by our March meeting, so meetings should be like January, February for discussion to enable time for writing, review, approval at our March meeting, and then we're able to submit if it follows the same timeline next year.
So trustees will discuss at January and February 2026 meetings to determine if we wanna.
To move forward.
Yeah.
Does everyone feel comfortable about that?
I would like to have hopefully a full board present for discussion into it and going into it. And likewise, put out an invitation to the public of hearing guests at a library trustee meeting and
You guys could hold a public
incorporate that.
hearing if you wanted, I could help you with that, I'm very good at drafting
Yeah.
those public hearing notices.
If you wanna do something like that,
If
you
you-
might wanna push your calendar back
Yeah.
to
Like
like
November.
November or so,
Exactly.
because, you know, you'll wanna get the word out and then do the public hearing and then have, you know, further discussion on that, so I don't
I
think 2
agree.
months is gonna give you that kind of
I
timeframe.
agree. It would also take into the consideration, so if we include like the hearing in the fall and then adjust things accordingly.
Chris, you're thinking.
I'm just trying to remember some of the discussion at the meeting, the town meeting, that I think influenced the vote. And I just don't remember the details of why it wouldn't be exempt from the law, I guess.
I guess it's not exempt from the law because we are a town,
Right.
the library is a town building, it's a municipal building.
But now it's a whole different story.
We're still a municipal
Yeah.
building though.
But we don't have the town offices.
We don't have the town offices, which is,
Yeah.
you know.
I think
so-
that's what that was, is it Alice? I think that was her point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. The resident made that point that it was, a different situation.
I also think it's advisable we kinda see how things settle in and also, yeah. Yeah.
I think that somehow we should check because the gentleman who was so pro-gun got up and before a vote was taken, made sure that if things did not go his way, he was going to appeal whatever the verdict was. And of course, you know, things did go his way, so the question didn't go any further. But the answer from the attorney that was sitting there said, no, there's no appeal. So I think before you get all involved in scheduling something and, you know, yes, answer this person
Mhm.
and their concerns, but before you get too much further, you might wanna check and make sure that it would do any good to have another vote on it, cause it might not.
So
Oh, okay.
could we consult legal, do you think?
We could, yes, yes.
But just informally, just to make sure that it's worth the trouble to do that.
Yes, we could definitely reach out to, ask, send a request to Nate, to send a request to, or,
KP.
yes.
So because it did not pass, it may not, we may not be able to bring it up again.
Well, it
It
did
was a
pass, that's the
general
problem, but we're not-
consensus that there might have,
I
was
mean, the
going to be a
exemption to
warrant
the-
article for this. I thought for sure we would get something, when we put out the form for the warrant articles, I thought for sure, and I said, well, what happens if we do? And he goes, well, then it goes on the warrant, so I'm guessing, yes, it can go back on the warrant.
Well, I would check on that first.
Yeah, no, so I will, you send the request to Nate, I'm sure he'll reach out to the young man who came to, I think he's the know-all for KP Law about
Okay.
this situation.
Sure.
We were the only town that took part in the vote, so
No other town in Massachusetts has done.
I don't think so, no.
No, that was the point, is that they jammed it through. Tom had more details on this, and I'm remembering it, only partially, but there was something about they wanted to get this vote done now and be the watershed,
Yeah.
moment for it, because there was some petition going around that, again, I can't remember what Tom said, but there was a reason they put it on the ballot, called a special town meeting in a hurry before anybody else. Cause you're right, there really wasn't any reason in common sense to hurry and be first online, but there was a reason that there was a deadline for something else, and I don't remember what he said. And this person who wrote in all good faith, is assuming they'd get a different answer, and they may not.
Exactly.
But the
So-
situation has changed.
The situation
so
has changed, so,
that's the reason.
so maybe in the fall when we start discussing again, we can decide if it is something we want to pursue, so.
So I had January and February, but we needed to be.
I think it's probably gonna go back more to like October, November.
Okay.
Alright, I'll draft something and respond back to her, just to
Acknowledge we've
acknowledge
met,
what we've discussed,
discussed.
we discussed and,
Yep. Yep.
Alright, trustee elections and vacancies, so Chris and Morgan are soliciting signatures for a 3-year term. So we do have a 1-year vacancy that's going to be open, so we can someone could be out there getting signatures for the 1-year vacancy that we don't know about, so that's always a possibility. If not, when it comes down to the election, someone may write in, which is what you did last
That's
year,
what I
you
did.
did a write-in.
Thank you for doing that.
And so,
Well, yeah.
so that could be an option. In fact, the last 2 years, we've had a write-in candidate.
Mhm.
So that could be one of the options for the 1-year position to be filled. The other would be if there is no write-in candidate, then the town usually sends out a call of open vacancies for an appointment, which is what you did, Chris, last year. So that 1-year vacancy would get us back in line with the 3-year cycle. So if a person did the 1-year vacancy, filled out the year, then we'd be looking at the next 2026 would be a 3-year cycle for that position.
Yeah, and
So, and then you would be up and then someone else is up.
no, I think it's me and that.
Oh, you in that position,
Yeah,
yes, are up,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will kind of get us back into a regular cycle, so.
Do you want us to advertise on Facebook for that or the website?
That would be
Sure,
good.
that'd be great, so. I wanna thank Alicia for serving this year, cause you've been great.
Thank you for everybody for
So
all
much
your help,
appreciated.
and it's been quite an experience.
Thank you.
so,
And I will see everybody as a friend.
yes, and so we're looking forward to your
That's a
involvement
big
as
help.
part of
I'll
the
put
grant,
I'll put a
so-
light under them.
Yes, and so so I
Thank
think
you.
you'll have some of the insights of kind of the trustees, so I think you'll be able to offer some insights to them as well, so.
Thank you.
Proposed basement renovation, I just wanted to provide an update. I did reach out to Wendy Frontiero. She is the person who kind of did our historical assessment report last year, to see if she was interested in, kind of just doing like a walkthrough of the building. I kind of gave her an update of where we've been, like this is kind of she likes this project. So I wanted to kind of tell her what progress we've made so far. And then I asked her if she would have any interest in coming to the library and kind of just doing a review of the ground floor and the second floor, just to identify like what should be maintained as renovations, you know, from a historical perspective. She was excited about doing that. And so she said she'd be delighted to return to the library and help us identify and prioritize significant architectural features. And she said it was good that we're thinking about this before we actually do the renovations.
Mhm.
So she is currently in California. She's gonna be there till about Memorial Day. I told her that if she could do the site visit in June, that would be fine, because we wouldn't, assuming CPC is approved, the CPC proposal is approved, we wouldn't have funding until July 1st. I asked her to come up with a budget of what, she would charge for it. I kind of told her what I could approve on the spot, cause we have about $800 left in the original CIPC fund. So I told her I could approve $800 plus mileage immediately. I said if it's higher, which is fine, I just need a written proposal and we have to take it here for a vote, so. So she's kind of currently working on that, and hopefully we'll get something to us in the near future. Hopefully, certainly in time for us to put on the May meeting, so that she can come in June, so. So I think it's good that she's kind of coming, I'm excited to have her come back.
Yeah.
I like her familiarity with the project.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
Is that, can you put that email in the trustees? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just get the wording right now.
Yes, so some progress along with that. And then just kind of moving on to standing items, I'm just looking at our calendar for,
Can we put that discussion of possible warrant on there, just so we remember?
yes, I can, so we're gonna talk about that in October or November, I don't have it, I have my regular account up,
Oh,
so
I
I
can
can't
do
do
it.
an edit on it.
I think I can do it. So October, what would it go under?
I would go under October
events.
under town events, yeah.
Okay, consider warrant, RE, firearms, restriction.
And then currently looking at our current calendar, really the things we have going on in April, May are just a scholarship. So we're just kind of waiting for applications to come in, so it's kind of,
The only thing I wanna put on your radar is the ADA assessment should be wrapped up. When he was there doing the library site visit, I brought him downstairs and said, please keep in mind that this will need to be ADA accessible for programming. And I asked him to not only get me the ADA in his report for not only adults but also children. So if there's a way we could meet in the middle in the bathrooms or something, so his recommendations, and to also put kind of a price point, that'll be easier to go for grants. If I have a price point and I have a feasibility study, I can go for these grants. Without the feasibility study, it was impossible to do
Sure.
that, so those should be
So it's
coming up.
for the whole library,
It's for the whole library,
all 3, okay.
all 3 floors, so,
And that'll be ready when?
hopefully before town meeting, but
It will be ready before town meeting.
it'll be ready before town meeting,
It will be.
super positive.
so, yeah. So
At like
that
2
in
p.m.
conjunction
At
with
2
Wendy's
p.m.
kind of assessment of like what we wanna maintain
Yeah.
historically, I think
Yeah.
will give us a nice path forward for any kind of renovations that we embark on, so. undecided funds for repairs, I feel like green energy, because we know we're in the queue.
Like, it's coming, like, so I've been on them, I got a final update today. We may have to trim the tree in the front of the library, which I kind of knew was a possibility. I will talk to our tree warden, and their, liaison tree warden, who is, spoiler alert, Travis, about if the tree needs to be trimmed, to having it done the day before National Grid shows up. We'll make sure it gets trimmed for the pole. So I've been on them. I ask for weekly updates of when that schedule is coming through. As soon as I get that email that says, this is the date, this is the time period, I'll send it to Chris so that she can make you aware. And I'll make sure that if the tree does need to be trimmed, that it's done well. I don't wanna harm my tree. I love that tree.
Thank
you.
Now that we're hitting spring, I wouldn't mind having Tom take a look at the foundation repair that we had done in November. Checking to see if,
Pointing.
what he thinks about it, and then seeing if maybe we can put in another proposal to have more pointing done, cause we have quite a bit of money for brick repair. So trying to work to kind of figure out what other spots that we want to do and see if we can bring back that company
Right.
to do it. I know he was like, I know Tom had initially, he's like, we should probably wait until spring to look at it, just cause,
Right.
it was winter. So that might be something we start thinking about in May. Policy subcommittees, we had our meeting in March, I think we need, maybe one more meeting to kind of wrap up?
I will say 2.
2? Okay, 2 more meetings to wrap up.
And if we are efficient, then yay, one less.
Okay.
But let's overshoot and say 2 more
Okay.
meetings.
Alright.
Because I think if we've been going for about 90 minutes. So we might be able to eke it within 90 minutes. Otherwise, 2 more meetings.
Okay. Do we wanna have a meeting in April?
I'm open to that. The 3rd Thursdays are no longer available for me. But I can work around other evenings.
Does the 24th work? That's the 4th Thursday.
It works for me.
Evening.
I'll be back by then.
You'll be back?
Yep.
That's right, 'cause you'll be on vacation. The only thing I'm just gonna mention with that is the 24th, and then the following week we'll have a regular trustees meeting. Because, May 1st is a Thursday, so it's gonna be early so there'll be like 2 meetings in a.
Is that alright with you guys?
I have something on the 24th
Okay.
in the
Okay.
evening.
How about the 22nd? That is the day after Patriots Day.
And the tree thing isn't.
Oh, the trees thing is the 22nd.
Yeah, but if you guys are meeting, are you guys gonna
22nd
meet
isn't so
in
good.
the library, or are you gonna meet in the Slade building?
Do you guys, we've been doing virtual.
We've been doing virtual.
Oh, then that'd be fine.
It's not good for me though.
Okay, how about
How
the-
would you have access? Would you just do a Zoom on your own, or, cause if, on the 22nd I won't be here.
Yeah.
Okay. When are you leaving again?
15th.
You're leaving the 15th.
So maybe
So-
we need to push it into May.
April's not a fun shaped month.
That or looking at the week before, like the 15th.
Chris will be gone.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
gone.
She's
Never
gone
mind.
that week.
How about
Yeah,
like the
as she just
29th?
Well, if you do the the 14th would,
You don't want to be doing that the day before you go on vacation.
Yeah, no.
I'm not,
No. No. You don't want to be like getting into like vacation mode.
So
all I do is just like sit there and,
if you guys wanna try squeezing 2 meetings in 1 week, Tuesday the 29th virtually and then in person on the 1st. And I could try to be more cognizant of time and see where we're at the 1 hour mark, and if it's definitely like, we're definitely going to have a meeting, we can just call it an hour and then have a second meeting. If we're like so close to being done and you guys feel comfortable, we can go that 90-minute mark and just be done with policy
Yeah.
subcommittee.
Most of what's left has already
Been
gone
looked at.
through one review, which doesn't mean it
And-
doesn't need changing, but
And then also keep in mind, after we've met on these, one thing that I would like to do is I would like to meet with Krista of going through formatting and fonts and just do a final read through. My thought then is to send it out via email to all trustees, just to like read and look to see, does anything look, and then give a green light. And PDF was the preferred format, and then we have it available, archived, and it can be put on the web, correct, Chris?
Yep. Did
Okay.
you guys wanna have it evaluated by the KP?
I think that would be beneficial too.
it's probably a good idea.
Okay, so.
I think we wound up taking out some of the things that were like tricky, like with the distance or, you know, I remember correctly,
Yeah.
so I think, but maybe about some of the age things, maybe we need
I
to.
always love having input and having additional
Yeah.
eyes, so I'm for that.
Alright.
So are we meeting on the 29th?
Does the 29th work? So it'd be the 29th and then the 1st, so, we're gonna see a whole lot of each other.
And what
Yeah,
time
expensive.
works
Oh, yeah.
best?
Alright, we have to pay for that, you know,
What?
taking them to KP Law.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if you
Okay,
could
then
charge
let's-
per consultation.
I
Then
would say
let's see-
identify the ones that we think might be controversial, and
Yes.
I don't think they're
Pare it
gonna read
down.
Yeah,
about
cause
the,
I just got the
unitary
letter that
policy.
their rates have been raised,
Mhm.
KP Law was just like, look, with all inflation here, we need more money, and I was like, okay.
Well, you know, well, we checked the town bylaws and we also checked the state, so, you know,
We've also made calls to the State House and
yeah, so maybe it's
Okay.
not as critical.
Okay. We can evaluate
We can
that and
look
just
at it,
see, and just
yeah.
if there's something we think that we got like, kinda like the, like, factor, like, I'm not quite sure that's right, then maybe that's one thing we ask, but I don't think we have to send the whole suite of policies.
sounds good to me.
Okay. So we're looking at Tuesday, April 29th.
7?
7:00, does that work for you guys?
On Teams. Yep. Thank you for sending the transcript, that worked fine.
No problem.
Oh, I love that option. My minutes go so much faster now.
Mhm.
The Otter AI that Nate has is great, but it can't,
Well, there's a lot of typos.
oh, so many. It's just some of the motions can get wonky at the select board, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't write all of this.
Alright, items not reasonably anticipated by the chair. I did not anticipate this on Tuesday when I took the agenda up, so I just wanted to bring up the email that I sent you all today about the MBLC, and some of the budget changes they are making due to losing funding from IMLS. Let me go back and start this over again. IMLS is the Institute of Museum and Library Services, is a federally funded program that provides money through grants and just also provides money to states, state library systems, provides funding. So IMLS gives money to the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, who then, that money gets trickled down to public libraries. Also through grants, like through either grant or state aid comes from MBLC, correct?
Yes, but, that comes from the state budget, it is not federally funded.
But does it come from MBLC?
Yes.
So some of that money, IMLS money would not impact state funds, like, I'm not.
That is correct.
Okay.
It's impacting, E-rate, which is the internet, having fast
Mhm.
internet access at the library. What else does it impact?
It's like a lower cost internet access.
It helps, offset, especially rural libraries, having fast internet speeds. And I know we call ourselves rural, but I think it's more like, out in, out west
Mhm.
where it's really rural.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm not sure what obviously the, impact for MBLC is affecting us, but not to the extent that it's gonna affect larger libraries that are really gonna get hit.
Yeah. So, I
I
just
saw
wanted to
that
get it on.
E-rate was going to the Supreme Court, something about E-rate.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a funding thing or just a like,
Someone feels that it is not constitutional because the monies that are being taken from people's taxes are going out for something that they may not necessarily wanna support, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
So these were some challenging times, for libraries. So I think we just need to kind of keep our ear to the ground of things that could potentially be impacting us in the future. If you are so inclined, I have information where you can contact your congressman, to, just express your views on it, so I don't know, Chris, if you have more that you know that I don't know.
Not particularly,
Can I just say that, like, they actually had to rescind grants that were already awarded.
Yes, they did.
Oh my God.
So that's kinda different than saying we can't do this in the future.
Right.
They had to say,
We took the
even
grant.
though you went through the process and you got this grant, we don't have the
Yeah,
money now.
exactly. And then they
well,
cut
they
off all.
didn't say they didn't have the money,
Oh.
they said that they have not received the letter from the federal government yet.
Oh, okay.
But they are being proactive and they're trying to not put themselves in a hole
Right.
before
I see what
they
you're
get the
saying.
letter.
Yeah.
And considering the atmosphere, the chances of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts getting that letter is pretty good. So,
And it also could see where, starting for the next fiscal year, if we got $3.6 million from IMLS, that $3.6 million will be taken away, and that's gonna have impacts broadly,
right.
so, yeah, not great for libraries right now.
We'll plug away and we'll get through this.
Yep. And fortunately, we have been pretty good stewards of our money for the past
Yep.
few years, so that, we still have a fair amount of money in our state account, we have money in our trust funds, that given, anything that might happen, we should be able to weather this. And we still have support from the town, and so, I don't foresee town funding hopefully being cut for the library.
Yeah, unless there's something catastrophic that comes
Yep.
along, I don't see that happening.
Cause that money's already in a pot, right? The CPA money, is that what you're talking about?
CPA, or just even like town funded, I mean, just
Town
the-
funding, the
like-
budget, yeah, I don't foresee.
The only thing that I do foresee is likewise across the board of things affecting funding for schools across the state, across the nation. And our area, our county schools have been hit hard over the last 15 years. And funding that they were anticipating getting is likewise not coming. And so that, I think the school district is going to have to look very hard with regards to what are they going to be doing. But I would likewise anticipate that towns will be being asked to contribute to offset.
Even more than they already are, and we're already at the risk. Unfortunately, this year Hubbardston didn't get slammed by the district, the school district. But a small town like New Braintree, who now obviously has to, they're scrambling to figure out how they're going to pay for
Yeah.
this. Because with budget cuts for funding, they now come back to the towns to say, okay, your assessment's even higher than it's been. And it can very easily bankrupt a small rural town who doesn't have the economic infrastructure to support a large regional school district. So that is something that is on the horizon and is being watched because they could happen. So it's not fun, and it's, when I saw the news go out about that, I was not the happiest person in the room at the moment.
So, just something we'll just, you know, kind of be aware of, and, you know, if, I don't know if there's an appetite for us to do some advocacy on our website, you know, or just informing,
Mhm.
you know,
Well,
the community, just kinda
next
just about
week-
what's happening.
Next week is National Library
Library.
Appreciation Week,
Yep.
so this would be the time. I was gonna put out the Amazon wish list, like, as you appreciate your library, this is our Amazon wish list, if you so choose to support our library. But I think you're gonna see this week a lot of advocacy go out to say, if you love your local library,
Yes.
this is how you can support us.
Yeah, and so, I think MBLC's website might be a spot, 'cause I think they are helping to kind of have
Coalition.
some coalition, some talking points, you know,
Mhm.
so,
Okay.
Has your brick gone up on social media yet?
My what?
Your, the Very
Print,
Hungry Caterpillar?
the brick painting.
The page?
Oh, I think I put it up. Did I not put
Did you?
pictures?
Mm.
I think I put
I
pictures
haven't
up.
seen it.
I thought you did, yeah.
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not, so I can go look.
Yeah, I think I did. Hold on. I've got 3 Facebooks. I have to switch between all 3. Nope, that's the town. Don't want that one.
Alright, I'll work on that next week for the,
Library appreciation.
pulling that stuff up for the website
yeah.
and Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, right there. Tonight the library got crafty with brick painting, and there's my book. It was a very
Okay.
hungry caterpillar.
That's so cute.
And I took a bunch extra home, and I've been painting them steadily, so when you walk up the stairs, there will be some all the way out on the edge of the stairs, where it looks like spines, and then I'm gonna do, the rubber, where the sign is, where it says our hours and stuff, the rubber,
Trim.
that was holding the garden in has given up the good fight this
Is that
past
what that
winter.
blue thing is? I was gonna ask about that. There's like was a blue tarp next to
Yeah, I
the
wonder
little
what that
lift
was.
thing.
Oh,
No,
no,
that's the
no,
old
that's,
cover for
that's
it.
the old
Oh,
cover for
okay.
the lift.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
on the other side where the sign
You know where
is,
the hours are?
the hours
Okay.
are,
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna
Oh.
outline
Oh,
that
nice.
whole area, get rid of the rubber tubing as long as that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Redo the garden, redo the rock garden, and put the books all the way around so it's surrounded by books.
That's cute.
Lovely.
Okay. More things to paint.
Do not
Add
get
that
called.
to your programming.
What? What?
No more calls by the police.
Oh, I got a call from the police department was called when I was spray painting, priming all the bricks. They thought someone was graffitiing the side of the building. The officers walked out, saw me standing there with it, and they shook their head at me. They're like, "Why is it always you causing trouble?" And I was like, "'Cause it is."
And I would tell them just get out of her way.
Any other items not anticipated by me that you'd like to discuss?
It's not a discussion as it's an FYI. I reached out to Woodford Electric. They'll be coming next week to look about putting an outlet outside so that we can use our inflatable dragon.
Or inflatable dragon, or put up lights outside to hold maybe an event outside, but we don't have an outdoor plug, so my hands are tied right now.
And the children's room, replacing the lighting up there
Oh,
and see
really?
if they can get the same,
Oh,
or
that's awesome.
similar pendant lightings
Oh,
that
that
we
would
have
be
in the
awesome.
adult
That would be
room.
great. And so we have CPC money for that,
We do.
so.
We have that 17 plus,
Mhm.
so gonna work on that. I was originally thinking we would put fans up there, but now that we were supposed to be getting everything else together, do we really need those?
Mhm.
So I'll keep you guys appraised.
So the lighting will match the
The adult reading room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
and the new outlet is outside?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But that's gonna be a separate bill. That's not gonna be part of the CPC,
Right,
cause
right,
that was
right.
not part of the
That's- yep.
CPC funds. That'll
Yeah.
be separate.
Still can believe there isn't one out there.
They never needed one, so they never put one in. Fortunately,
Wasn't
it's
there a
not gonna be
meeting-
expensive because there is power going out there already.
Yeah.
There's a light in that sign that, you know, you could turn on, but
So where's the outlet going?
if you're going up the stairs, it's gonna be, there's a, it's on the right side of the building. You'll see a gray power line
Okay.
coming out.
So does it tie into where that light comes from now? For the
The-
sign?
Yes. I'm figuring,
So
yeah.
all of that is already done.
On the left side of the stairs or the right side?
If you're going up the stairs and you're facing the building, it would be on the left side.
On the left, that's right. Thank you.
Christie, you were
I
gonna say
think you
something?
sent an email saying that you and Chris had attended a meeting about grant opportunities.
Mhm.
Was that to meet with a person who's going to do grant writing for the whole town?
Yes.
And how did that sound for the library?
My Vanna White night. I was Vanna White that night. Just putting stickers up and counting things and doing one of these. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a meeting with Capital Strategic Solutions, which
And is that someone they hired yet?
Yes.
Yes. So, and then there was what, maybe 20 of us? 15? Maybe 15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About, I would say 12.
12 people there.
From different different departments, different groups, committees.
And then just then anybody from the town could have gone.
Yeah,
too.
it was not like it was open to the public.
Mhm.
So what people wanted to see as residents too, that the town go for grants for, so.
Yeah. I don't know, I thought it was a good meeting. I mean, there was a wide variety of categories like infrastructure, Parks and Rec, safety. Like I said, the library was its own little committee or little section. And there were, of the people who voted, the library renovation and the elevator had 7 or 8 votes, which were among the top. So I would say the library initiatives were at the top, like along with like 48 Gardner Road and, you know,
Fire truck.
fire truck. So, so that doesn't necessarily mean,
Exposure.
it means that, you know, these are viewed as high priority, but I think everything that was on the list is considered an opportunity for a grant. So even if something received only a couple of votes, like if a grant opportunity arose to fit that,
Mhm.
you know, then you would apply for it, so. But, I don't know, I felt optimistic.
Yep.
Felt like it was nice to know that people were excited about.
And this company is a mechanism by which we would get grants or
Yes.
the town? It's a town thing.
It's not necessarily just a town thing, it's if a grant fell into her lap to put in an elevator in the library. Say it was a historical ADA grant for rural towns, falls in her lap. She would then work with us to apply, she would do the grant writing. She would apply for this grant with us, our name would be on it, but she would help. You know, what would take me 3 days to write this grant will take her 2 hours. Like, this is what she does. And then apply for
What about
it.
finding grants?
That too.
Cause it's unlikely it's gonna fall in her lap.
Right.
No, but I'm saying it comes across her screen, like she finds it,
Right.
it's this grant opportunity through.
She has those networks.
She has those networks, like there are grants that I never thought to go for, like through the USDA and all that stuff. However, she is aware of what is happening, you know. But like, I never thought we could go for a Dr. Seuss grant, because the coalition is out of California. It's no longer in Springfield. The foundation's in California. But when I called them to ask them if a small town in Massachusetts could apply for it, they said absolutely, why wouldn't you? Well, you're based in California, so what? So it's things like that, grants that you don't think you could go for because of the usual attitude towards it. Or grants that we don't normally go for because we're west of the 495. That Boston and Lexington and Concord go for, but we don't necessarily think that we have a shot. Those are the grants that she'll go after.
And so basically what this meeting was is it gave her what we would like to see grants for, so now she has a better idea as to the framework, what's the town's focus, you know, an elevator for the library. Or
Yeah.
roof, you know, ceiling to wind, what's the wind thing up there?
Steeple?
The wind vane.
The
Weather
the
vane.
weather
Weather
vane,
vane.
yeah, from the foundation to the weather vane renovation, you know,
Yeah.
it's you can think big, you can think small, but yeah, so now she has a better idea as to what, the people are looking for here, you know, cause she can look for grants, but if it doesn't work for us, I mean, like she even got a grant for a boat for some.
For a
s-
town,
for
she
a
got
town.
she got a grant for a vessel for the police and fire department.
I mean,
And
we're
not just
looking
like
for
a
one, but-
canoe, like an actual boat.
Yeah,
you
get
know, so she
paid
has
by
to
the
she has to know
grant,
what
or
our
she's-
needs are in order for
By
her
the
to
hour.
look for
By the hour, oh, good.
So she's new to Hubbardston,
No,
working with Hubbardston? No.
she knows Nate. She used to be a town administrator. So she knows the inner workings of a municipality. It's not like someone who's never walked in our shoes, coming out of like selling us this grand opportunity. No, her and both her partner, it's a woman-owned business, both her and her partner were both, town administrators.
So hopefully they can find some grants for us.
Cause they're not coming from the government.
Thanks for asking about that, cause we saw the email, but it's good to have.
Yeah.
you-
Anything else? Alright, it's 8:16.